never-ending cycle of what's the next new shitbox, right? Like the two-door JK is gonna be the shitbox.
The two-door and the four. I feel like the two doors are so much more loved than the four doors.
I think the two doors are going to become the stretch wheelbase, the long arm, the nicely built trail rig.
Because I've never seen a horribly beat up two door. No, but I've seen trashed four doors.
Yeah,
two doors are surprisingly loved.
I guess I'll bring us in on that one. All right. Welcome back to the Dirt Drive podcast, guys. As always, I am Trevor. To my right, we have the hooligan of hydrolocking, Tim Germanario.
No, incorrect.
He's never done that.
No, that's definitely AK.
You're the one who's You're the one who's gotten my Jeep closest to hydrolocking,
and that's why I'm in the comment because I knew he would say that.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah.
That much forethought.
Yeah, actually.
That's the most forethought put into this podcast so far.
To my left, we have Tom Sylvester.
Yo.
And back with us again today, our special guest, Brian Brower, our miniature diesel tech, all-around junkyard gnome, angry junkyard
Do you have an Instagram?
He doesn't use it. I send him stuff all the time, and he just doesn't get it.
You need to make your Instagram handle junkyard gnome.
Okay.
That'd be a good one.
We'll get Darwin to fix that for you.
I'll work on that tomorrow at work.
Good.
No.
LS swap.
You have much more important things to worry about.
Today's episode.
Near and dear to our hearts because we've all done it.
Buying shit boxes on the internet.
More than once.
So not buying shit boxes on the internet because we've tried that before and we didn't get that ZJ. We
were so close to that, by the way.
I still believe someone told him how to fix that.
I agree with you.
This is a spin-off of that episode because we almost bought one. I was going to do a how to buy a shitbox episode when we actually go and buy the shitbox.
What is a shitbox, why you should own one, and how to buy a proper shitbox and not get ripped off.
Is a proper shitbox an oxymoron? Find out this week on the Dirt Drive.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yes, it's an oxymoron, but...
It is a thing.
As connoisseurs of les shitbox.
I've walked away from a lot of shitboxes because I have the experience of how to buy a shitbox.
There is a point in which it is no longer a shitbox.
Also, I think we're going to say shitbox so much in this episode it's going to be explicit. So
don't
let your kids listen to this one.
Yeah, we need that like black and white label on this one.
No, it'll be all right. I can just click a button on a Buzzsprout.
If it was beeps, it would just be like beep box, beep box, beep beep beep.
We sound like from the 90s.
We're beatboxing now. Okay.
Beep pop, beep box.
Wow, this is great radio, guys.
Tom has gone Martian.
So
there is a very fine line between shitbox and shit.
Well, so the
line's really not that far.
It's kind of a blurred line. So this episode doesn't just apply, like this content won't just apply to like Jeeps. Like if you're trying to buy a drift missile or whatever.
Wow, someone's been spending some time on the internet.
It's the smoking tire. He loves talking about drift missiles, but it's just how to buy a shitbox vehicle in general.
Yeah, project cars.
Yeah, project cars.
Yeah, project cars.
It's how to buy
it's
a
more
shitbox
term for your wife or your spouse that may or may not be into the shitbox life. It's a project car. It's not a shitbox.
Or commuter car.
It's an investment.
Depends on how long it sits. It could also be a paperweight because that's what Mackenzie calls my car.
Or yard ornaments.
Yes,
flower pot.
Yeah,
flower pot. Pot. Jinx, knock on wood. You owe each other an
Pretty sure this is how you don't buy shit boxes.
So you need to find out what you want a shitbox for.
Yeah, it's definitely an opinion based thing and a skill based thing. I think is a fair way to look at it.
We found out through the shop that not a lot of people qualify for shitbox ownership.
Yeah, no. Shitbox life is not an easy place to be.
It's not an easy place to start.
Yeah,
you need to find what your capability is and what you're willing to learn.
Right.
Because if you're going to get into the quote unquote shitbox life, you need to be very familiar with YouTube if you have no mechanical experience. But there's plenty of resources on YouTube to make you a good shitbox owner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What
As
you're
long as
willing
you choose
to
the
learn,
right ones, too.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing.
what you're willing to learn is definitely a good way to look at it, because it's. I say this lovingly to my own industry. It's not that fucking hard.
No.
Like it's there's definitely a level of being good at it, but for the majority of things that need to be done for a trail rig or as Tim calls it, a drift missile
No, a drift
to exist.
Yeah.
Like you don't need to be a crack mechanic
No.
to patch your stuff together.
I've seen mechanics on crack that have good shitboxes.
right, but yeah, it's you can
Stop talking about Brian.
Brian doesn't do crack.
you can keep something alive and running at a bare minimum state with minimal tools, minimal investment, and minimal skills.
So, but it takes effort. If you have minimal
effort.
everything, it takes maximum effort.
And the,
because-
ability
because-
to deal with
yeah.
the frustrations of it.
So that's where the effort comes in, because
Yes.
you have to have the ability to.
That's not effort.
And-
that's perseverance.
Okay,
That's fair.
fair.
Yeah, I was going to say energy. It's a max
Yes.
energy thing where you have to want to keep that vehicle alive for whatever reason, whether you're emotionally attached to it, whether
It's do you want a fast car? Do you want a good car? Do you want a reliable car?
Or do you have to
Like-
drive it to work on Monday?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's a better way to sum it up. Like, if it's
never said I
your
was good
trail
at it.
rig, right? Like the four of us all have trail rigs, right?
Yep.
If my YJ sits in the garage for 6 months because the drive shaft is broken, I don't have any
Do you mean when
issue.
your YJ sits in the garage for 6 months?
If Timothy,
It's a warranty claim.
It's a win.
if we're going into winter, everything's going to sit for 6 months.
Oh yeah, my spark plugs aren't getting done until our next trip.
yeah. You're over here. I always broke mine on the trail. Yours is just running poorly.
Just maintenance.
Wow. Good job,
Is there
bud.
a thought?
every awkward pause, a Cherokee dies.
or is it every time a Cherokee dies, there's an awkward pause? I think that's probably
no.
more
The
realistic.
awkward pauses cause Cherokee deaths,
Okay.
and yeah, there's another one. God damn it!
So many Cherokee thefts.
For only 25 cents a day.
You can save a Cherokee.
And yet, still, you can find them all over Marketplace for $15,000.
No, Cherokees are getting
Yeah,
expensive.
no kidding.
All over. The market's
So
inflated
yeah,
still.
so first is what do you want it for?
Exactly.
Are you
I'd say
gonna
that's
be
the biggest.
are you gonna be daily driving a shitbox? Are you gonna be rock crawling?
our quote unquote expert recommendation is not a daily driver.
Not a
No.
daily driver ever.
Get the shitbox
your
for the
shitbox should be a
purpose-built
toy.
rig.
It's
So
a toy.
Yes. So my I would kind of lovingly call my Sonata a shitbox, but it's really not. It's a reliable
No, that's a commuter car.
commuter car.
That's a beater.
That's a beater.
beater.
Different term.
We're really splitting hairs here with
Yeah.
the terminologies.
Yeah, we are.
But shitboxes are projects. Like
Yeah.
you go into it knowing you're going to spend your Saturdays working on it. It may or may not cause a divorce. Like, like that is the purpose of that vehicle.
but it's all out of
get a
love.
divorce?
Cause a divorce?
Yeah, yeah, pretty much.
So, yes.
I mean, for some reason, our wives are all very patient.
Oh, our wives. We don't deserve any of our wives.
No, because I can literally count the girlfriends that I have lost over vehicles.
Yeah.
I remember in college.
But how many cars have you lost over girlfriends?
None.
There it is. There it is.
I was in high school. I was on a date because I didn't have a car yet, but I was watching my Camaro come back home on a rollback. We were walking to the McDonald's because that's where you went on dates in high school.
Yeah.
And I said, I can't go out tonight because that's my car. It's coming home. And she said, if you don't go out with me, I'm walking home and you're not going to see me again. I said, goodbye.
See ya.
See ya.
When I was in college, there was a girl I was dating, and we had a snow day, and Walsh doesn't remember this, but he'll
That's 'cause he was
potentially
too high.
verify the story. We woke up that morning, got the text from school that school was closed. I was so excited that I didn't even text my girlfriend. Walsh and I went straight to the garage and we're working on my old BMW. And like 4.5 hours later, here comes my girlfriend trudging through a foot of snow through the ghettos of Williamsport, Pennsylvania, walking into the house, and is like, you didn't answer your phone. And I was like, I've been in the garage all day. Because that was the snow day off, I'm working on my car because it's a shitbox.
Well, it's the same thing we do now. If I get a day off where I'm not mowing the lawn at home or not doing chores, guess what I'm doing? I'm going to try and work on my Jeep, try and put my truck together.
Wrong.
I've literally had...
He just doesn't have days off. That's why. Yeah.
All you had to do was spark plugs and wires, and you didn't even do
He just
that.
didn't have a day off.
Yeah, I just haven't had time to do it.
Hey, I'm still not going to argue. I won out on that. Ooh, baby.
But yeah, that's why we do it, is because it's the love of the game. And if you don't love the game, do not buy a shitbox.
Don't hate the player, hate the game.
Now,
And if you don't especially love the game,
Yeah.
you don't try to rock climb it and daily drive it.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
Oh, hey.
yeah. The daily driving or expecting your shitbox to be reliable is definitely a dangerous game
Yes.
to play.
Super dangerous.
Brian lived that life for lived or currently living.
Yes. I see. I got away with it.
That's a day-to-day determination
he's
at this
been,
point.
Been living that lifestyle.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just okay because I don't expect any of them not to be shitboxes, though. Except for the Suburban, which hasn't let me down.
Knock on wood.
I do feel like we, basically me, Brian, and Tim are a bit of an exception because we are mechanically inclined and like Brian and I both do this for a living and we have the parts resource, we have the tools, we have the time and the space to constantly be working on something.
Yeah.
And I think that does make it a little bit difficult when from the outside looking in at us.
Yeah.
Where
But I mean, if you look at me, I've got a gravel driveway. I've got a Craftsman
you're a
toolbox
good
that I
example.
use.
Yeah.
In spare time that I have, I work in my gravel driveway on my back, putting my Jeep together when I have the time.
Yeah, it sounds miserable.
Yeah, it's not fun, but I do it because I love the game. Like, I love being out in the woods with my friends. And if
That's why you wheeled your wife's Jeep at Main Jambo.
That is, because my Jeep wasn't ready.
So
What is the... So I think Cherokees are no longer the shitbox king. I think they're going up too high in price.
I agree with they're too high in
artificial
price.
inflation.
I think people are recognizing the Cherokee for its pros more than its cons.
Yep.
And I think that is what's causing the inflation.
Yep.
I think right now the low key shitbox life is definitely a ZJ.
CJ is the new
Yes.
shitbox king.
Yeah.
The queen is dead.
You can still find those for
Which I don't quite understand.
cheap.
Yeah, I don't quite understand why.
Because
Crappy
everyone
was
knows
great.
everyone knows the XJ as the shitbox king.
I think
So people want them.
me
Because
personally, I think the only reason the ZJ is as underrated as it is because of the axles it came with.
Yep.
I also think that it's a looks thing. I don't think it's a good looking vehicle compared to the XJ.
I disagree, but I'm biased.
Yeah, your mom drove a ZJ. So.
I grew up in ZJs.
New T-shirt. Your mom drove a ZJ.
Me too.
Write that one down. That's a good one.
I'm the same though.
Yeah.
My mom had one and it was awesome.
Yeah, I think we had Grand Cherokees from the mid '90s to the early 2000s. The only variation in that was we had I guess officially a second gen Durango.
Yeah.
It was probably like a 99 or
like
2000.
the big tank of the
the bubbly ones.
yeah. My stepmom had that.
And I also love the Durango. Don't sleep on the
Those
Durango.
are good shitboxes
The
too.
V8 in that Durango.
Oh yeah, the 5.9 Magnum.
Oh
Fantastic.
yeah, dude.
But I think the ZJs are underrated because they either had the Dana 35 or the aluminum center section 44.
Oh yeah, which is
both of which
grenade.
are pretty much garbage axles.
So, but
Where
when
the
you're
XJ had the 8 1/4 and a high pinion 30 option, so like the
the
XJ
ZJ
at
comes in a
least from an
V8.
entry level standpoint in the off road world was usable.
so that's an informed shitbox buyer, in which I was not.
Well,
When
that's the whole
when
purpose of this episode, right?
True, but when I found my shitbox, I just saw it was a
$300.
running, driving
$700.
$700 XJ.
Yeah.
Well,
So what do you
was running.
look for in that shitbox, and how do you find that?
a V8 Grand Cherokee.
whichever said.
I would call that desirable and not a shitbox unless it's falling apart.
Well, so
I would love a V8 Grand
for me,
Cherokee.
there's always a balance between
A V8 Jeep Commander.
what it's going to do and what I need to do to make it work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, there was a point I was in the market. Well, I'm always in the market for stuff, but
Shitbox Life.
I
This
was
is why
actively,
PV slaps him.
Yeah, I was actively shopping commanders.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
V8
I
Commanders.
wanted a Hemi Commander to do an overlanding build with. Still technically looking for one.
I may have an overlanding build for you.
Don't do that. I've already made my mind up on a Toverlander build.
So you'll probably say no, just because I know you.
or I'm going to say yes, and then
Burns is looking at GXs, Lexus GXs.
Okay.
He wants to get rid of the Grand. He said he'll take $6,000 for it, or not the Grand, the
X.
X for it.
I'm
He'll
not
take
paying
$6,000.
$6,000 for that truck.
Oh, you won't? Okay.
No.
Also,
We know what he's done.
Someone
to that.
will.
someone will.
Yeah,
I'm not saying
someone will
that's
get a
bad
good deal
price.
on it. That'll be a good shitbox find.
100%. But that's, to me, being who I am and what I do, I won't pay more than $1,000 for a shitbox build.
Yeah.
Like, that's everybody. You have to. I think that's the first step in buying a shitbox is you have to draw your line.
Yeah.
What are you willing to sacrifice as far as convenience and comfort
To get a good deal.
and to get the deal? So, like, for me, like, Scrap Heap was a $200 buy.
Yep.
That thing had so many issues that I didn't care what was wrong with it.
Yeah.
It was a $200 vehicle. Whether it ran, didn't run, what lift, what tire, none of it
Didn't matter.
mattered. It was $200. And like that is how I approach buying it. Do I recommend that for everybody? Absolutely not.
Yeah, yeah. If you don't have
No
the
way.
ability to do that work, don't buy a $200 Jeep.
Right.
Unless you're going to try and flip it for $600.
Right. But
Then-
But even,
So- but
even,
even-
then, we spent so many hours on Scrappy in that garage.
Yeah.
There was a point where we all had memorized the torque specs and rotation
yeah.
of how to put
A cylinder
yeah,
head.
because we put
cylinder
like
head
3
back
different cylinder heads on it before we found one that
like
actually
that's
fit and
how much
sealed.
work
Yeah.
goes into one of those things where it's just like you're in the garage at
Right.
2:00 in the morning and someone's going, "What do I do this one to?" And someone from across the garage blurts out, "145 foot-pounds."
It was 110. Some of us memorized it, some of us didn't.
Order the parts, Trevor.
Yeah.
Order the parts.
153624. It's the firing order for a straight 6.4 liter.
There you go.
See?
That one was fun because there was 2 bolts you had to do to like 45, and the rest were 110.
No. It's everything to 45.
Yep,
Then you let it sit for a little bit.
sure.
Then you
We
do
never let it
everything
sit.
to 100. One bolt, the one that goes into the water jacket, it has to be Teflon taped. That one stays at 100 foot-pounds. The rest of them go to 110 foot-pounds.
Shitbox king.
Yes. But
Walsh had everyone beat. He
And-
had it up on the whiteboard.
yeah,
and He
yeah.
had like
well, that's because Walsh can't remember what he ate for breakfast.
Yeah.
No, the back to the commander. There, you always had to draw that line. I was in the market for a commander that was an overlanding build. I wasn't looking for something that was a mechanical nightmare. I wanted something that was ready to drive, running well, that I could throw a lift kit, tires, roof rack, build out a rack, throw some bumpers on a winch on it, and run up and down the highway.
Yeah,
do easy trails and overland.
You were still looking for something that was a deal, though. It needed a little bit of work
Right.
to get there.
So-
if it needed to come home on a trailer to get it to run, it wouldn't be the end of the world.
auto auctions.
Well, so in that for that build, my line was I had to drive it home. That was what my decision was if I could if I could
Voice correct?
if I couldn't drive it home, I wasn't gonna buy it.
Okay.
And we went and looked at one. It was body was like a B plus. You know, there were a couple dings, a couple scratches. Interior was filthy. It needed a solid detail. But it was billed as like, hey, this thing's drivable minus this check engine light.
Yeah.
So I showed up with the Autel scanner and it had like 56 fault codes in it. And I just fucking tore this thing apart in this guy's front lawn. And he's like, no, a lot of it can be fixed. And a lot of it was like iffy things like, oh, there's a bulb out. Because modern cars all have
Yeah.
Oh, I hate that
fault
word.
codes for all that stuff. But I drove it and like this guy was out in the sticks, and like the neighborhood had a pretty steep hill. So when I took it out on a test drive and I punched it up this hill, it was knocking, it was clanking, the trans was slipping, like it was all these issues. And he had it at like $3,500, which was a deal for a V8 Commander. But at the same time, I knew I'm replacing that transmission at some point. I'm rebuilding the front end. I've got a bunch of stuff I got to do. Like,
you're gonna sink almost $10,000 into it just to get it right.
Right.
Between a transmission, front end rebuild,
and I
just
was
not worth the effort.
Right. I was honest with the guy. I was like, listen, like this does need a ton of work. Your price isn't that far off, but I'm not buying it at this price. Like I made him an offer.
He could refuse. Yeah.
Well, but I was understandably he was like, no, someone's gonna buy it at the price I've got it asked for, and I was like, you're right, and I went on with my day, and I think going into a purchase is where you need to figure out what you're willing to do.
Yeah, what your skill level is, what you can do, because you don't want to get in over your head and have to drop it off at the shop,
right?
Whether it be our shop or any shop, because you're gonna have a big bill.
Right.
You're gonna be like, hey, it just needs this, but to get this done, you're gonna need a whole myriad of other things done.
Yeah. Well,
that's why you don't buy Toyotas.
It's the same buying any car. You got to be willing to walk away from it. Like you got to have that hard line and just go, I cannot cross that. Period. No ifs, ands, or buts. Because you will end up with that $15,000 bill from the shop, and that's not going to be a fun day if you just paid $6,000 for that vehicle.
Yeah. The benefit is at least it's not a shitbox at that point.
Yeah,
like,
true.
Yeah, when you pay the $15,000 for it to get it back.
But that does take some of the fun out of it, right? Like, if you're a DIY, at a home mechanic, YouTube certified, part of the fun of the shitbox is working on it.
Oh, all of the fun of the shitbox is working on it. I love.
No, because the other part is
actually
getting out and using it. Whether
Fair.
it's being a slidey boy and drifting corners, or smashing trees and banging rocks. Like I slid that slidey boy in there.
Slidey boy,
Slidey
drift
boy.
missile, got it.
Drift missile.
Yeah, the YouTube certified thing is huge, and you need to don't find some obscure. I mean, there's not really in the off-road world. There's not really anything that's obscure that doesn't have some sort of following that some mechanic has worked on. But find the thing that has been worked on the most. Like when I bought my Cherokee, I found Bleep and Jeep.
Yeah.
And Bleep and Jeep Matt was it? Yeah, Bleep and Jeep Matt.
Yeah.
Yeah, was doing a Cherokee build. Right. And I followed step by step. I watched everything I did. I watched a video, and I've no formal training as a mechanic. I started on a 71 Camaro. I started on my dad's CJ as a kid, just cranking on in the garage, watching YouTube videos, learning how to do stuff. Then I got my Camaro, and then I got my truck, my Jeep. But I'm all YouTube certified, and it's just because I wanted the vehicle, and I had not even the know-how because I'm an idiot.
Yeah, but I think in the world of
drive.
DIY guys, you're pretty advanced at your skill level. Like you've done enough, and you've helped out at the shop enough. You worked with Rob on truck. Like you've done enough mechanical work that you're above the average.
You're not a novice
home guy.
Yeah.
For the guy that wants to go out and
you're not
just
Brian.
For the guy who just wants to buy a Jeep and just wheel it and then that's it, and he doesn't even own a screwdriver, he doesn't need to be looking for TJs.
No, he needs to buy
he's
a
not
JK.
gonna learn. Yeah, he's not gonna learn how to do frame repairs on YouTube.
Yeah. That's the one downfall that I have as a DIY at home guy is I can't weld and I can't do gears.
Right.
But I've got the friend network where if I need something welded or gears done on it.
If that's your limitation, like you
have
are
to know
the
that.
ideal shitbox owner.
Yeah.
Because you know enough to keep your garbage running without getting into advanced mechanical modifications.
Yeah, I know enough to be dangerous where if I need something done, that's the dangerous, expensive stuff.
And I think that's the biggest thing about buying the shitbox is knowing what you're capable of, and not just the vehicle.
Yeah, which is the big thing, and if you don't know what you're capable of, I mean,
you'll figure it out.
Yeah, you'll figure it out.
You'll find your limits.
Real quick.
You have a daily driver. Try and do the brakes. If it's a BMW, don't try and do the brakes.
I think.
But if it's a Sonata or a Civic or
if it's a normal car,
it brings up a good point because brakes are definitely a very simple maintenance repair item for the average DIY person to do.
Are they now?
I know where you're going with this.
And we're not going to talk about that.
At least not recorded.
Love you, Tom.
I think most people get freaked out because they're brakes.
Yeah.
Right? Like they're like, "Oh, I don't want to do this wrong." And that's fair. I think that's a good mentality of learning, but I think especially in the off-road world, there are plenty of people who are experienced DIYers or professionals that are willing to, go to your wrenching party or your shop day or whatever you want to call it with your club and go, "Nope, you're doing that right. Like you're good. Keep going."
Well, in most reputable shops, I'm sure if someone was doing a shop in or a job in their driveway, they say, "Hey, can you just tell me how to do this quick?" Like,
oh yeah, we do it all the time.
Yeah.
I just had a conversation
quick
tonight
advice.
with a customer who's having some issues, and I sent him a message and was like, "Hey, this is what I think it is. Give us a call tomorrow at the shop, and we can walk you through the official diagnosis if what you're planning doesn't work."
So I think the best advice for a new shitbox owner is have friends or resources that can help you walk through the hard problems. And that's kind of the deep end that I got myself into. Is I never knew what I was doing, but I knew I had friends that could teach me or walk me through the hard parts. And that's really what I've enjoyed the most, is because with the shitbox comes great shitbox opportunities.
With all your shitbox friends.
Yeah, with all your shitbox friends. I mean,
that's why we're all sitting here at this point, isn't it?
I was working on my my Cherokee in my garage, and I got into, I can't remember what I got into, something stupid, but I couldn't get it fixed. I had nothing to do that I could get it right. So I had my buddy Marty that worked down at Sunoco. So I had it trailered down there. He put it on the lift after work one day, and he fixed it because I had the friend in that space.
Yeah.
It's always nice. I mean, you may not have that opportunity, but if you're on like the Facebook forums or anything, just someone's going to come over and give you a hand.
Yeah.
I mean, especially in our area.
Yeah, I think the from an entry level shitbox life, the off-road community is always willing to help. I can't speak for everybody, but I also feel like my limited knowledge of that drift world, like I think the drift guys and the off-road guys
are pretty similar.
That's very similar.
That's why I brought that one up.
Yeah,
because I was in the muscle car community, and nobody in the muscle car community
muscle car guys might be the
It's because
worst.
you're competition at that point.
Yeah. You're if you show up to the Sunday morning car meet and your car's nicer, they don't want to talk to you.
Well, you're showing up to the meet, you're showing up to the track. Like, it doesn't matter.
Well, no, because track guys are different.
Yeah, track guys.
So the racing community is very different from the show community. The racing community is very similar to the off-road community, where everyone's there to help everyone because they want to have good competition.
Right. Yeah. No competitor wants their competition to fail out and win by forfeit.
Yeah.
Like that just makes you a bad competitor.
Yeah. If
Larry's
you have
a bad competitor, then.
Yeah. But to your point, like it's not even so much that your car is nicer; it's your car is not that nice. You don't belong here.
Yeah.
Right. Where in the off-road world, like we show up with the $200 Grand Cherokee and we've got a line of brand new Rubicons behind us.
And everyone's like, they know how to fix shit and they're fun.
Well, and they're going like, no, like your Jeep's built better than mine. And I'm like, no, it's not.
Meanwhile,
yours is brand new. Your shit's way better than mine.
Meanwhile, we're bouncing off of each other on the trail.
We're pushing each other up the rocks and there's definitely a certain freedom.
Shenanigans.
Yeah, there's definitely a certain freedom with the shenanigans that comes with not making a monthly payment on something.
Oh, absolutely.
So I definitely think the off-road world like benefits from a certain level of shitboxery.
Shitboxness.
Shenanigans.
Shitboxing?
Yeah, shitboxing.
Put on your shitbox gloves and
Well, I think
come to the
that's
shitbox ring.
like, I think that's
shitbox. Can we hold on the YouTube video? Can we get a counter?
It's a lot of work, but I'll do it.
Like bing, bing, shitbox, bing, shitbox, bing.
Yes, there will be a counter on YouTube.
But I think that's like,
Can we just do like a shorthand, like every 100 just goes through the loop?
Just like a level up noise, a Mario level up noise.
with the off-road stuff, it's almost generational too. Like I think in the next couple of years we'll start to see some of those JKs become
Ship
boxes.
100%.
Oh, yeah,
right?
I can't wait.
So it's
They already are.
There's a never ending cycle of what's the next new shit box, right? Like the 2-door JK is gonna be the shit box.
The 2-door and the 4. I feel like the 2 doors are so much more loved than the 4 doors.
I think the 2 doors are going to become the stretch wheelbase, the long arm, the nicely built trail rigs.
Because I've never seen a horribly beat up 2-door.
No, but
I've seen trashed 4 doors.
Yeah,
2 doors are surprisingly loved, and I didn't recognize that until Mackenzie got one.
You know what I think
But now
it
I see
is?
it all the time.
I think the people who bought the 2 doors when they were new were like OG enthusiastic Jeep people.
Yeah.
They weren't like people who bought 4 doors didn't buy them as trail rigs, but turned them into trail rigs.
Yeah, when they realized they didn't need them anymore.
People who bought the 2 doors were the guys that were
loved Jeeps.
that
They're the
loved
purists.
Jeeps, and thank you, the purists. That was the word I was looking for.
You're welcome.
And they preserved them and they built them right.
Yeah.
Yep.
The 4 doors got a 2-inch puck leveling kit and some 35s and just bashed rocks and trees until the maintenance became too much and they sold them.
Yeah, to some kid.
Yeah, to some kid who continued to beat rocks and trees.
Yeah.
And,
Which is nice. It's nice to see that the shit boxness continue.
100%.
Yeah, I mean that's also okay. I mean that's
Yeah. Yeah, I'm
there's-
not knocking
No, yeah,
that.
there's nothing wrong with it because the 4 doors are great rock crawlers.
Yeah.
They're awesome.
They've got the
And-
wheelbase.
oh yeah, but seeing one of those things crawl down the trails, all doors off, no top, like that's gonna be the new shit
In the
box.
pouring rain.
But they're gonna be long armed on
Sounds like a country
37s.
song.
Like they're gonna be badass
That
crawlers.
is definitely a country song.
Yeah. Not even longer than 37s because that's no longer a shit box. That's a purpose-built trail rig.
Yeah.
It's going to
You're
be
long armed, and yours is a shit box.
it's a shit box, but it's a purpose-built shit box.
That's a different level. Like there's definitely a point where you graduate from shitbox to crawler, and
I'm on that edge
you're
right
you're
now.
right on that edge.
I'm an 8.8 and a roll cage away,
and 35s
and 35s. Yeah, because 33s are really small.
Yeah, I think the shipbox, like Brian falls in the shitbox.
Oh,
life,
yeah.
where like it's bare minimum to trail ride, and yet he's running with
is it bare minimum?
it's bare minimum.
It's bare minimum.
I think it's below bare minimum.
no, it's bare minimum.
Depends on what I can tune out.
He's got he's got doors and a top. It qualifies.
But like he's running the entry level 4.5, 35s on Steelies.
307 gears.
33s.
That's what I said.
You said
You said
35.
35s.
Oh shit, 33s on Steelies.
Even worse.
Homemade bumpers, like
307 gears.
just barely enough to get through the woods.
I think.
and he
so.
follows the guy with long arms lockers. Like
Hot take. I think if you put steel wheels on anything, it automatically makes it a shitbox. I hate steel wheels. Black steel wheels are the automatic shitbox maker.
I'm
You know
gonna
what?
I'm gonna agree with you
I'm gonna go with that.
for one reason.
One qualification.
They are the only steel wheels available on the market are black D windows.
They're so bad.
Like there's nothing else
there's
in
round.
steel other than black D windows.
and it makes your vehicle
No,
shitbox.
there is. Those with simulated bead locks. Oh, hey.
Yes.
the Pro
See, but those put in effort. They've
the
got, it's got
Procom
the
No.
bead locks.
51?
no, they don't.
Are they the 51s or the
I don't know.
Don't look at me. Where's the parts guy?
103s? No, the 51s are the regular D
Yeah, the
windows.
50 runs are the D. Because
Oh,
they've
I
got
gotta
the
look
D,
it up.
they've got the circle window.
Oh, yeah, I'm looking it up because
But yeah, that makes I
103
when
maybe?
people post on Facebook like, "Hey, I've between these two wheels and one's a black Steely," I'm like, "Do not go with the black
Why?
Steely because
Why?
everyone's
It's
done
a
it."
classic look, and it.
Dude, you can trash
but
a
you
Steely
know-
and not care.
No,
No,
you're
like-
not wrong, but
But if you're
that's
asking
what
f-
makes it shitboxy.
If you're
because
asking for marketplace advice and
They're-
you're gonna put a black Steely up, don't do the black Steely.
Oh, yeah, if it's not on a shitbox, absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
If you're running a trail rig, you can smash
Do
a
the black
$50 Steely and not give a shit.
Yeah.
but
fair.
that's the point, right? Like you're gonna buy. Like,
You're gonna buy a set of wheels. You're gonna go out of your way to buy a set of wheels, and they're gonna be shit
All right,
boxes.
Yes,
so
yes,
the Procomp 51 are the black D window Steelies.
Yep.
They are $100 a piece.
Yeah.
That
It
is
used to be 75.
that is half the price of the entry level aluminum wheel.
Yeah.
Yep.
You are 100% correct. Like if you're shitboxing it, You're buying the cheapest parts
missed
available.
that word. That's a good word.
Shitboxing it?
If you're the shitbox king, shitboxing it.
Oh, wow.
I'm imagining all the work I'm gonna have to do counting shitboxes. Sit there.
You can
One.
get them in white now. That's new.
Oh yeah, I've seen that. The
Pro Comp 82.
the Steelies that I really like with that Range Rover Discover that we
Oh,
saw in
yeah.
Asheville, and the white Steelies.
I don't know if those were Steelies though, because
They had to be Steelies.
So that's another.
That was not a shitbox.
That's another thing. The shitbox life is becoming mainstream enough.
They're
Where
gentrifying it.
Quadratech makes retro aluminum wheels that look like steel wheels, but they are aluminum.
yeah,
Like
Really?
They're trying to take our
Oh,
shit
yeah.
boxing away.
yeah.
yeah.
All those rich guys.
The 252 is the simulated P-lock for our listeners.
Yeah, they're
Wait, which one was
not
that?
a
You
bad
weren't talking
wheel.
They
about,
are
like-
they are $115 a piece.
Ooh, extra $15 for some
the-
fake bolts.
And the only reason I bought them was
I mean,
because
grade
they
8
were there.
hardware is expensive.
Fair.
What are you talking about? I'm pretty sure they put grade 5 on those.
they just painted them gold like Metal Cloak.
The gold-plated advantage.
The gold plated grade 5 control arms.
resistant.
It's zinc-plated. Nothing else.
Patent pending, except for all of the hardware ever sold at a mainstream hardware store.
So
Actually, how about this? Picture perfect shitbox life. Tom Walk messaging in the group.
That's an
Is
oxymoron.
a grade 5 bolt good enough for a control arm?
is he our ultimate shitbox king?
No, because he's just uneducated. He's not. He's
So
not
which makes him a
That's
shitbox
also
king.
an oxymoron.
No,
Picture
because his
perfect
Jeep
shitbox.
shouldn't be a shitbox. His Jeep
shouldn't
has
be.
premium parts under it. It
Really
shouldn't
good.
be a shitbox.
Again, we will point out the fact we took it out wheeling.
Did
Did not break anything,
Beat the
and the
piss out of
front
it.
drive shaft literally wanted to fall out.
Yeah, like I couldn't use 4 low. Because the
We could
drive
barely
shaft-
use 4 high.
I remember that. Yeah, that
Yeah.
was the July trip. That was
Yeah, Tom runs
Oh, I thought
2
that was
green
last year.
trails and rips the track bar bracket.
Runs
out
2
of it.
green trails. Tom drove on sand and dropped a control arm.
Yeah.
He's like Darth Vader.
Yeah, Tom is a shitbox owner in a nice Jeep.
Yeah.
fair.
Tom deserves
Should
an XJ.
have a shit box.
Yeah, Tom should have an XJ.
He should have an XJ.
If you're gonna trade anybody's Jeeps, you should trade
Oh,
your
he
Jeep.
would-
I was
to Tom.
just about to say that.
That'd be a good deal. I would take that.
Yeah, that
I
one
would
I would
say-
encourage.
So would Tom's wife.
Tom said no. She would not want my Jeep. Also,
Tim
I think
would end up with an XJ and a JK.
sold. I've already got one. I'll take another one. I think he
How
would
many
fit.
ship boxes can I collect?
How many times can Tom kick the mic?
See,
Going
here's,
to hell in a handbag.
see, here's a good one. I've actually been thinking about the WJ here lately.
Oh boy.
Oh boy, is right.
Yep. So speaking of if anybody's a shipbox king,
Brian.
is this what do you got? 3 ship boxes right now?
4 because he's got
He
2
treats
WJs.
his body like a shit box.
No, the second WJ doesn't count. There's nothing left of that.
Brian, tell us about your shitboxness.
Which one?
All of them.
Okay, well we got
We got all night.
we got the
really
we got
don't.
the TJ, the rusty white thing. And
covered that
then
one.
then we got the
Yeah, go elaborate on the WJ.
the WJ. That's the red Grand Cherokee that I got for how much did that lift kit cost?
$150.
$450.
Something like that. Yeah, it seemed like a nice Grand Cherokee.
It was a good trade.
Yeah, it was 4 liter hole inside of it. Okay, I can fix that. Once again, I have the resources. I also didn't realize how expensive 4 liters got all of a sudden.
4 liters have gotten really expensive recently.
So I got into
Again,
that.
people realized how good they were.
I went into this thinking, oh, okay, $200 engine, I'm on the road, good to go.
Yeah, $1,000 later.
Yeah, well, you wound up getting the silver WJ there, Tom,
That was a good find.
and
Yeah, we pulled that out of Petrie's yard.
Yeah.
yeah, and that you were going to use that as a daily driver till you realized that was a horrible idea.
It was falling apart in every sense
Yeah,
of the
that was-
word.
that was
It was
rough.
not good.
Yeah,
It was
so
a good parts vehicle for you.
yeah, it worked out perfect because now most of that vehicle is now in the red Grand Cherokee.
Which is falling apart.
To include the engine, the transmission, and the rear axle, most of the interior. Okay, pretty much the only thing that's left.
All right, so
Oil
should we-
pump came from
Are
Rusty
we
White
just
Thing.
are we just gonna sum up shitbox life as don't do it? Is that where this is headed?
No, do it if you have the resources to do it. I would say do it properly, but you can't do shitbox life properly. Do it informed. Come kind of back to the
I think it could come full circle. And if you're going to shitbox it, don't expect any more.
don't expect.
That's the real key. Is
Lower
don't,
your expectations.
don't have expectations.
Welcome to Dirt Nerds. Lower your expectations.
I just say don't have them. Like, just walk in, know what you're willing to walk away from. You go buy it, and just don't have a single expectation for what you're going to get out of it.
Expect to work on it, but have fun if you have the right friend group or the right access to the right people. Because getting that sub $1,000 vehicle, whether it be an XJ, a ZJ, a Miata, whatever you find,
It's going to come with problems.
It's going to come with problems, but it's also going to come with a ton of fun in the end.
Yeah.
Like whatever you do with it, you're going to have fun. Whether you put it into a wall, put it into a tree, like
blow the oil filters off in the parking lot.
it may be like one thing we've learned is that it may be miserable when you're fixing it, but then you're going to talk about it on a podcast with your buddies because it was so much fun looking back on it. Because that's literally a whole life.
You'll get the memories out of it for sure.
Yeah. Memories come from hard times with good people. That's a great. Did I just make that up? Memories come from hard times with good people. That's got. I'm not that smart.
There's probably 1,000 variations of that statement.
Yeah.
I like it. It's a great saying. I'm all for giving you credit for it. But it also feels like a live, love, laugh type thing. Like where you've seen it at like a Kohl's or a Target before, which is why you just
you saw it at Meineke.
Yeah.
When you towed your shitbox there because you couldn't fix it anymore.
Yeah, no, I think that's definitely a good way to sum it up. Is you're gonna have heartache, but in the end, you're gonna look back at it and go, worth it.
Worth it. Every penny.
Yeah.
If you're that kind of person.
Every
for
evening.
Sure.
I would rather have the project and the shitbox life than go out to the dealer and
Our wives don't, but
buy a new JK and just throw tens of thousands of dollars
our
worth
wives
of parts at it.
Want to understand the shitbox life, but I think they understand the value in buying something ready to go.
I think more what it comes down to is we have good wives and they can appreciate the fact that stuff makes us happy.
Yes.
I'm not going to speak for your wives. Mine doesn't get it, and she's accepted that she doesn't get it.
Yeah, mine does too.
And
but
it makes me happy, so therefore she accepts it.
That's my point. Is like it's not that they have to necessarily understand it. They just look at it and go, "This is what they want to do." They're happy doing it. It keeps them out of jail.
Seems like a waste of time and money, but
it keeps them out of jail.
But is it because can you put, like you said, can you put a price on the memories, on the friendships, on the adventures that come with it?
I take like $3 million to leave.
Yeah, what's a lotto ticket cost?
All right,
Get them the hell out of here.
Who's got a realistic price on it?
All right, who is sending that check?
No.
Oh God, I would love that check.
No, you can't.
Anybody
but
can send that check.
I think that's why any of us are in this hobby anyway, right? Because you don't.
But it's also why we're friends.
Well, yeah, but you don't get into off roading because you're like, oh yeah, I'm gonna make millions doing it. No, you do it because you like going out in the woods and romping around.
Yeah, if you think you're going to make money at this, you're wrong.
Yeah, even the guys that do it professionally, I don't think make money at it. They're just happy to get paid to do it.
Yeah,
Just empty every pocket.
Yeah. But I mean, it's a lifestyle. You have to be 100% committed to spending your weekends, spending your evenings, spending your paychecks on your shitbox.
Yeah.
And I can vouch for this.
And you can't justify it to anybody because it doesn't make sense.
And I can vouch for this.
There's no reasoning. But it's so much fun that you take that person that you can't justify it to out and do what you do. And they'll be like, oh shit, now I understand why you do it.
Right.
Because we're having so much fun right now. When you get home and have to wash it and work on it.
But you don't wash it and you don't work on it
until it's on the trailer for the next trip.
Yeah. But until 2 days before the next trip.
It's a show, not a tell kind of lifestyle.
Yeah. It's a tough one, but it's a lot of fun. I would love to be able to say I'd trade it, but no matter what vehicle I get into, like it may be nice, but it's still going to live the same kind of life if it's a trail vehicle.
Oh, it'll eventually turn into a
track
shitbox.
Yeah.
You beat the crap out of it enough.
Even when I find a suitcase full of money, like
it's going to run out.
But this is, I'll go out and buy something nice as my backup vehicle.
Yes.
I'll still have my projects in my shitbox because, like,
That's why the shitboxes get towed.
Yeah, it's you know,
The shitbox is also doing the towing in Tom's case.
Also true.
Yeah.
That's your case too.
Yeah.
Your
No,
hitch
my-
literally got ripped off.
That was
Yeah,
a shitbox. No longer a shitbox.
it still qualifies as a shitbox even if it doesn't leave your driveway.
Fair, got it.
See, and I'll vouch for this. The only way you can daily drive one of these shit boxes is if you work at a fucking Jeep shop.
Yeah, no, 100%.
That is the
100%.
only way I got away with driving the
Yeah.
Rusty White thing daily.
cheap parts, lifts, tools.
Yeah, and the fact
friends
that
to help you.
and the fact
like-
that it's just like, hey, my Jeep broke down. Okay, yeah, I'll see you at lunch.
Yeah.
No, you're
Or your Jeep breaks down at the shop. You're like, oh, I'll lock up. I'll lock
I'm
up when
gonna
I
be here
leave.
till midnight
I'll-
again.
Or you'll come in
Swapping
the
in-
morning. I'll be on the couch.
Yeah, swapping an oil pump in the parking lot in the wee hours of the morning to go home.
Was it-
that takes dedication?
Was it your shitbox or the Comanche that you slept on a piece of plywood on your toolbox drawers? That was your Jeep.
that was
wasn't it?
his Jeep.
That was my Jeep,
That was
yeah.
his Jeep.
Yeah, it's like it's a commitment.
It really
Shitbox
is.
life is a commitment.
It's fun.
It-
It is a
I mean-
lot of fun.
I mean, it's hard enough, and
Comanche,
like
he
I
was
have the
sleeping on the
access to the
couch.
shop and everything else, and I have the means and the know-how, and it is still miserable sometimes.
But I get the other end of it. If I could pay someone and just like instead of maintaining it on the trailer before I'm going to Big Dogs, if I could just drop it off after Big Dogs at the shop, I mean I could. I can't afford to,
Right.
but I could.
I would just end up owning your Jeep and trailer.
Fair. Yeah. So you guys use my trailer more than I use my trailer anyway, so
I like how this episode went from we're going to encourage you and teach you how to buy a shitbox to basically talking everybody out of buying shitboxes.
yeah, don't.
No, that we're just gonna have
It has nothing to,
everyone.
You know, this is
it has
good, though.
nothing to do with us trying to
That-
drive
that
the
is-
price down on shit
Yeah, I was going to say,
boxes.
if we talk everybody out of buying them, the
price
prices will
tanks.
drop.
And
Yay,
then we'll buy them.
$200
And
exchange.
then we will have yards of shitboxes, get divorced, and make more podcasts.
God, Tim's gonna have like
Yay.
15 XJs.
No, because I'll be getting divorced, and I won't have a place to keep XJs.
They'll just end up at my house
Good.
next to my shitboxes.
Thank God I live so far
No,
away.
no more, no more customer cars at the shop. All just our Jeeps.
Yeah, paying $40 a month in parking spaces for all of our friends' garbage.
You're already doing that, Tom.
I know. Well, no, just a couple of friends.
Well, on that
Oh, good.
bombshell,
Yeah, on that bombshell.
Yep.
that was another episode of Dirt Drive. It was kind of chaotic, but we had fun.
Yeah, that was
We
a blast,
highly
guys.
recommend not recommending buying shitboxes.
We highly recommend Shitbox Life if you're up for the torture and the punishment of Shitbox Life.
It
if
really
you're a
is.
miserable human being.
But it really
Which
is.
we
fun.
are. If you can't tell, we're no fun.
Yeah, we are absolutely miserable. This is horrible.
Check us out everywhere social.
Dirt Nerds
At
Motor-
Dirt Nerds Motors, Dirt Nerds Off Road, Dirt Nerds Airplanes.
Check out the swag.
It's everything. I don't know.
Swag stores up.
Wait, hold on. Is that
Get
a
your
buggy comment?
Get your t-shirts, your hats, your mugs, all that good stuff.
help
Yep.
help pay for this wonderful podcast,
Yeah.
please.
Please. We need money.
Rate us, like and rate on your listening platform. It helps us out so we can keep making you good content every week. Just content. I don't know if it's good or not. And Tom spits out his whiskey.
And on that note,
And on that bombshell,
Here she gone.
thanks for listening. We will see you guys next week. And that's it.
peace.
Peace.